All right, so we're looking at silver, right? So if you remember this particular idea, it's still in play. If you took the trade when I said to take it, you'd still be in profit, right? Now, where did I say take the trade? It was at a break of this area right here. Problem is, it went up and it went down, but it never broke the stop. Now, it's going back up now, and that's all great. I expected to go up higher to like, I think it was like 60, 46 or 62. Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. The point I want to make in this video is that my perspective of what is happening now has changed. Not what's happening now, but more what's happening long term, right? So this is more of a long term refresher f- idea, right? So in terms of the short term, yeah, that's fine. This can keep moving up, no problem, being a very slow move up to that level, which is probably going to be around. I've got it here, $46. Right, that was the number couldn't remember. Simply put, because it's the same length of wave A. Right, wave A. Right now, I need to talk about this pattern in general because something has changed in my view. So I still think this is not allowed to go above that red line. Now, that is definitely a point of no return. Like, we can't go above that line for this idea to remain intact. And I'm talking about the whole long term idea, which I'm about to update right now once we move up to the higher degree. So, look, the whole idea that this is a wave A zigzag is still in play. It's just the rest of the pattern has some more pieces to it. So, yeah, let me explain that to you. So, let's just also just take note of one thing that's happening here. This pattern is getting weaker. So, A, pretty strong, bit of COVID there. Yeah, this pattern since very weak moving up. Okay, so it's gonna drag on and on. I can see it happening. It's gonna drag on and on until it gets to the end of wave C, right? This target, right? Which this needs to be lengthened because it's obviously not enough time right there. It needs a bit more time. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point is to update you on the larger patterns. I just wanted to start with that because I thought it would be most fitting to do so. So the the bigger picture is that this is definitely a long-term uptrend, right? Not going down significantly from this point. And I mean, compared to what I used to say, which I was saying that's going to collapse to zero almost. No. See, you've got to update your ideas and get rid of your biases. I've been months away from, I've spent months not posting about this. And there's a reason behind that. And I've mentioned it in my other videos on the crypto ideas, and that is that I'm going to update a raft of ideas, and I'm going to start doing it, but very gradually, starting from now. Okay. So I thought the best one to start with is the precious metals because this one gives us pretty much a pretty good feel for the kind of crazy levels of inflation that we're feeling due to the money printing. Now, the money printing is at the center of my argument here, and it's at a crescendo right now, right? It's at a turning point, but we're not there yet. I think that it's going to get worse. Now, not just with the whole, oh, there's a recession slash depression coming. I think it's just, I think that's just the beginning, right? Because you got to think about it this way: when they start printing money, it's gonna be a process, right? It's not gonna happen just like today and tomorrow, and that's it. No, it's gonna be a process of ups and downs, right? Now, I believe that it's going to be something that will be in the form of a 1-2 pattern. So let's just take the long term view for a moment here before we head into where we are now. And I'll label it as we go, but most of the labeling's here. So we have this B wave up here, which happened in 1980, right? Year before I was born. Wave C down to 1990, and I believe a D wave happened at the lows in silver. The gold chart is a little bit different, and I'm going to post separate videos this time, not like my gold and silver video that I made back, some months ago, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna pay special attention to each one. So just to not seem like I'm trying to wrap it up in one big little gift for Christmas time, no. Although, mind you, the gift of AriasWave is definitely one that can make you a lot of money. So as long as I get it right, I'm trying my best. All right, I'm trying, and I will get it right. And this, I believe, is in the right direction. So B wave, long term, ended 1980. C wave down, weak 5-wave move. D wave, just a very complex zigzag pattern. Type 1. Um, Wave E, just a basic shitty little 5-wave move down. That's basically a bit weak. So type 1. Um, Wait, is that type? No, type 2. Sorry, weak 5-wave move. Okay, fine. So we get to 2001, and we actually create what I believe is, uh, at the very minimum, a wave 2. Well, no, that's wrong. At the very minimum, end of wave B or wave 2. Okay, because wave 3 would be a lot longer than a wave C. Technically, we don't really know what wave this is. That's why I'm saying that. But if it was a wave 3, it'd probably be longer, right? So let's just say this could be the end of a correction, right? A correction, a long-term correction. And here is where we begin the next bull market, right? So the bull market always starts with a wave 1, right? So a wave 1 would be placed right here, basically. And then you need a wave 2. Okay, great. So that's where we are now. We're still in a zigzag down since 2011, but we've not seen the first zigzag down, which, in my opinion, could go down to, at the very minimum, $11, right? 11 and change, right? So let's just leave it at that. But first, we need to hit our upside target of, what I say, $46, right? We can't go above the all-time high of $50, right? $50, I believe. So, and that's simply because, like, you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern wave 1, you need a correction down, and you haven't seen not even a complete zigzag down since that. You haven't seen a full correction at all. Now, that doesn't mean that the rest of the correction can't expand to the upside. Now, we've all seen the cup and handle pattern, right? So cup and handle pattern, right? But don't assume that you can just say, oh, this is a cup and handle pattern and it goes up, right? Because we could see a cup and handle pattern with a long handle, right? It doesn't have to be like, okay, I drew that wrong. Give me a sec here. So cup, and I'll draw the handle separately with a different color. Handle, oh, shit, what am I doing? All right, try that again. All right, handle could come down this low, okay? Yeah, whatever. So that could be what we're looking at here, but we haven't seen the bottom of this move yet. So that handle part is, we're nowhere near complete yet. Now, this is where I believe things get pretty funky, because we haven't seen the worst of it yet in the stock market. That's what I'm trying to say. So when we see that money printing start to really accelerate, that's when I believe silver will start to accelerate more than it ever has before, right? Now, this has taken months and months and months of thinking and careful consideration and bias dumping, because biases will kill your analysis, right? That will kill it. Now, it doesn't matter, excuse me, it doesn't matter if you have a wave methodology that you've created yourself or not, they will kill you, right? And for me, that I did create AriasWave, I do have a methodology. Yeah, it really just, biases got me. So the one thing that I used to say, watch out for biases, I had to then turn inward and take a good look at myself and say, do you have biases? You do. Great. Get rid of them. Doesn't matter how long it takes, get rid of them. Because sometimes we get stuck in our ways and we need to move past that. Right. So that's why I also believe that people who look back to past mistakes and criticize you based on your past mistakes, those people are garbage, right? You need to move on. Life continues. Um, Forget about your losses. I understand you may have lost money, but guess what? You can make more money in the future, or you can stay poor. It's up to you. Great. So that's my idea here. Now, where will wave two end? We don't know. The correction being, look, if this is a wave three, then the end of wave three could come way above. It could be it could be an expanded correction. Wave two might end up here, right? Even though we had a retracement, and this is the crazy thing about AriasWave, the understanding of AriasWave is that you don't wave two doesn't have to end at the low of a correction, because corrections can expand in AriasWave and wave two could end up higher, right? So who cares about that side of things? That's irrelevant. The point is that I believe we haven't even seen the low of this correction because we haven't seen the first zigzag down. That's what I'm trying to say. And I believe it'll go minimum, like I said before, $11 and change. It could go down as low as $9 and change, right? 90%. But it definitely cannot go down below $4. It just, I really just don't think it's going to happen. Could it retest the area of the GFC? Absolutely, it could. That's basically that's basically the $9 area. It could retest that. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it did that, right? I wouldn't be surprised because number one, this move up is only wave A. So you'd have to see like B, C, D, E, and then you'd have to see the C wave down. Now I'll get down into the nitty gritty of that whole what I just said just then in another video, but I wouldn't be surprised if we hit $9 again, like the GFC, because I believe in the stock market we're going to go below the GFC level more than likely, right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I believe there's a big chance that it will. Now, I will cover this in another separate video about the Dow Jones and my latest findings, which have been posted previously, but I'm going to refresh it, everything all over again, even interest rates, right? That's one of my big ones in the past, and I'm gonna hit that again because I did predict this massive move up in interest rates. I did predict it 2020 and beyond, and guess what? We've seen those interest rates continue higher, the bond yields, right? And I got that part 100% correct, 110% correct. Okay, so you'd want to stick around for that because look, I have dumped my biases. I don't care about that anymore. Like for me, it's just like about finding the truth because the truth will set the rest of my analysis free in my favor because it will actually help me understand all those other charts because everything's connected, right? It's one big giant mechanical machine called the markets. Everything's connected. The interconnection of the internetworking, that book, right? The interrelationships of markets, right? I can't remember who wrote that book, but everything's connected, right? So if you understand how when one thing goes up, one thing goes down, it's not correlated. No, it's just how you know things tend to sort of work in like a mechanical nature, and it's based on human psychology, right? So everything's human psychology, okay? Because intrinsically, nothing's got any value at all, zero. It's worthless. But humans give it value. That's what I'm all about. So please stay tuned. I'll catch you on the next one.